Even the fears that keep us small, the fears that stop us from being the person we want to be, it's just your brain's primitive way of trying to protect you.
I want to get out of this funk. I want to get rid of this lens. How can we do that?
I think that it's super easy to hold on to that anger or whatever that feeling is because it makes us feel safer, but it's really okay to just let go of it.
If you have an ex-partner that you demonize and you hate, I think there is something for you to learn. Still to learn.
Every single past partner that I've had has actually beautifully led me to my set of preferences and standards for myself that I now have with my husband.
Maybe your dream person is already in your circle of friends. You just don't know it yet. It is so controversial to say that.
So it's running already?
I hope so, Amanda. Thank you so much for being here.
Feels
like we already did one podcast together at lunch.
I know this time instead of food, we have water.
We have water. Wonderful. Yeah. We just went to Cafe Gratitude, one of my favorite place here in LA. My friend Nick, she gave me a list that long with vegan restaurants to try out. And I went to 2 and then I came back to Gratitude because I just always go to the same places. And it's so good.
It's so good. It's so easy. I know for a lot of people who already live in LA, Cafe Gratitude can feel like it's overdone, but they're just so consistent with what they make and how it tastes. So I'm happy. It's a really easy place to go for vegan options. And, you know, the setting is always nice. Service is always, for me personally, I've never had a bad experience. Knock on wood.
I went with Simon. Simon and Louise couple of weeks ago, and there was we arrive, we sit down, and there's this lady with a knife,
like a sharp knife.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in front of the restaurant, but they're outside seating. So it was a sunny, beautiful day, like feels like every day here in LA. But there's this lady running around, homeless lady running around, clearly on something with a knife in her hand, and we're like talking to the staff at Cafe Gratitude, and we're like,
they're probably like, oh, it's just another day.
That's exactly what the waiter said. Don't worry, she's been here already for a couple of hours. I'm like, that doesn't make it better or us more comfortable. Yeah, the police gave everything good, but you get entertained here in LA, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's never a dull day. I mean, I look at the transients as, it's just their world. We're kind of living in it, and they kind of do what they do, and it's fun. It's entertaining. Never a dull day.
Is it for you? Because for me as a European, I don't get to see this often. For me, it's very new.
I was just thinking that. I wanted to ask you.
We have certain, like I'm from Germany, we have certain cities where if you would go to Frankfurt, train station, you can look it up online. There you would see stuff like this. I would say even sometimes a bit worse. But otherwise, in my little town, that would be like everybody would stop and say like, what is going on here? So it is. I remember for the first when I came to LA for the first time, it was like I had to get used to that.
It's a culture shock.
It is a culture shock, and I think we should do more about it, like actually helping people. And I had this idea yesterday. I want to create a series where you take someone from the streets, you hear their story, like as in a podcast conversation, and then actually try to help. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, but I was like, so when I don't know how it is for you, but I get my best ideas when I'm in the sauna, when I take showers, when I go on a run, and I was like, that would be epic content, no?
100%. I mean, we were talking about this earlier. That's kind of why I like cleaning and cooking and the very mundane tasks, is because I'm like washing a dish and I'm like, oh, wait, I want to talk about this on a podcast. I was recently thinking about this, specifically about washing dishes, because I'm trying to experiment. Is dishwashing faster, like with my hands, or is putting it in the dishwasher faster? Because I would have to take the dishes out of the dishwasher. They're sometimes still wet. Then I'd have to leave it out to dry, and then I'd have to come back and check if it's dry so I can put it away. Like, I feel like it takes a very similar amount of time, eventually I was so frustrated because when you're in a rush and you're doing mundane tasks, it doesn't feel very good. So I was just washing the dishes and I was like, gosh, I'm late. I really need to go. And I realized that it's just going to take the time anyway. Like it's going to take an hour. It's going to take an hour. So I might as well not be frustrated or upset, because why would I want to spend extra time, being in a level or a vibration that doesn't feel good for me when I could just be washing the dishes, or if I was using the dishwasher, setting it out to dry. But it was just such a mundane task, and it helped me really think about and process, this is how we try to live our lives. We're like rushing everything so we can be more efficient. But then we end up wasting our time, because then we're rushing in that hour when we could just be enjoying life. We could be listening to a podcast. Maybe some of you, if you're listening to this right now, you're washing the dishes, you're doing some mundane task, and you're enriching your life in that way because of something really boring on the surface. But we do get our best ideas just doing like the running and walking. But anyway, to go back to your idea, that sounds like a wonderful idea, and I would love to listen to those episodes, just because I've always thought about that as well. I mean, we're here in Venice, but I mean, and you're staying in Beverly Hills right now too. Yeah. Downtown LA is crazier. Like in downtown, the Flower District, the Fashion District, Skid Row, I drive through there just to visit some friends who live in downtown, and I think to myself, every single person here has a story. Yeah. Every single person here, they've gotten to this place some way or another. And I just really would love to hear how it goes. And I know that there are some TikTok pages, I believe, that do those street interviews and just ask people what they're about and what they do. But I think same as you, which is why we get along pretty well. I just am very intrigued by people's stories, because there's always something to learn.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
And I mean, yesterday I met a great guy. His name is Alex Peterson. He told me about the things that there are already a lot of good people doing things, but apparently it's not enough yet. I mean, it's such a tricky topic. It's challenging. I mean, I said, in Europe we don't have that. We just have it in different levels. But if you go to the UK, or like, you go to London, you will see a lot of homeless people. And you're like, how's that? How are we so rich as a country and this is possible? But then even in Germany, and I don't know enough about the States or UK to feel educated enough to make statements. In Germany, I feel, because we are immigrants, I feel like it's so controversial to say that, but to a certain level, it is a choice in Germany to live on the street, because you could get support from the government. There are not many countries. Like, I see what you mean. Why people from all around the world risk their lives to come live in Germany. That's why. But we still have homelessness in most of the major cities in Germany.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it's like, it's so difficult, just difficult, challenging, and you need to listen to everybody, and you perhaps can't help everybody, but we can at least try and support. I think that's very important. At the same time, I don't know how it is for you or how you do that. There's so much negativity in the world. There's so much positivity in the world. I mean, it's very obvious that you can't live in that negativity if you want positive change, right? You could turn on the news right now, and I think if I would watch the news if I would just sit there, if we both would sit here for the next 45 minutes and we would actually watch the news, I think our state of being, our mood would go from grateful and relaxed to something else.
Yes.
I'm sure right now, while we are talking, there is probably a plane accident, like a plane crashed, 100%.
100%.
Somewhere. There were murderers, there were riots. I don't know, like how many things just went wrong in this world. while we're speaking.
Yeah, and people losing their jobs and homes and having to live on the street as we're speaking too.
Yeah.
Like it just happens all the time.
How do you, I mean, you live here. How do you deal? How do you deal with that? How do you not? In German, we have a term for it. It would translate in German. It's we say Weltschmerz, which is Welt is world, Schmerz is pain, so world pain. Like when you are so aware of all of the bad, negative things that your heart just hurts because like there's so much cruelty. How do you deal with that? How do you not like lose yourself within this negativity?
Well, I think I would be lying if I said that I don't lose myself in the negativity. It's so easy, especially going on TikTok and Instagram and all the other social media, even just going on Google, Google News. It's just all there. And I think for any person who feels deeply empathetic and who also understands that they're in a much easier position in terms of life, it can feel very difficult because truly the only difference between me and them on the other side of the world, or me and them in the house next door, where they may not be, and I'm saying them as in like people who are experiencing pain and suffering, you know, the big difference is that they were born into that life and I'm born into the life that I'm living. So it does feel frustrating, and it is easy to get caught into that spiral of feeling sad for the world, feeling crushed for the world, you know, especially when everything, like, of course, there's always been conflict in the Middle East, but October 2 years ago now, that was really, really hard to just be on this side of the world, have my coffee in the morning, say bye to my husband, who I know is going to come home after work, and look at the news and see that people are just, they're being taken from their homes are being destroyed, they have to leave, there's children dying. Like, it's heartbreaking.
So heartbreaking.
And also, the best thing that I can do in where I'm at is to really be grateful for what I have and use my resources for good. Sometimes that means doing charity work, sometimes that means donating your resources, yes, but it also means, like, how can I be a better friend? How can I be a better wife? How can I be a better daughter? How can I be a better dog mom? What kind of things can I directly impact and influence that are right here? Because that's where I can make a difference. And then that actually creates a ripple effect, and it ripples out to who knows where. We never really know where our inner work can actually ripple out to.
Yeah.
Let's say you receive news that's generally frustrating, and instead of taking it out on the next person, you've done the work. So you're like, you know what, that was frustrating, but this is what I can do, X, Y, Z. Let me just take action. I'm going to validate my feelings, and then I'm going to move on. So then you don't even affect that other person. Yeah. And then they don't even have to take that pain or that frustration or whatever that energy is and bring it to the next person. And you actually maybe get to be a little bit more positive. And that's something that you can do, and it feels totally unrelated. It's like, why is me being a good friend actually helping people across the world who are dying? Directly, it's not. But indirectly, I truly believe that it is, because it's what I can touch. It's what I can influence. And then, of course, I can use my own gifts to share positivity with the world, or help other people feel supported, help other people heal themselves so they can keep going on in their work. It's really just about, what can I do in this moment where I'm at that is actually going to help, versus thinking about all the things that I can't do, because that's literally useless. It's useless. So that's what I think. That's how I kind of go about it. And also, we are human. It's so normal and natural to feel sad about these things. It's so normal to feel helpless when you are reading news from across the country, from across the world, and you can't do anything. It just means you have a heart. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. It's just about how you transform that energy into something that's a little bit more productive, that makes a difference.
Yeah, I think that's the point. Something a little bit more productive that actually helps. And if it just helps 0.01% is better than probably 0%.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was going through cancer treatment, I remember friends reaching out, and they would reach out with this, like, communication is funny. It's actually not so much about the words you're using. It's more about your tonality and your body language. But mostly, like, if you call someone, you can say Amanda in one way, and you can say Amanda.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's the same word, but because you changed the tonality, everything changed. We all know that if our moms or fathers say our name, they can say them in very different ways. So if friends would call me, sometimes you would have this like pitiful tonality. And I remember this one friend was like, Axel, should I worry about you? I'm like, well, you can, but it's not helpful. And he's like, what would be actually helpful? I'm like, you go have the best time. Like, you suffering at home doesn't make my life here easier. If anything, it makes it worse. I want you to call me with a positive attitude, because it's not going to help. It's not going to do anything. If anything, it makes it worse. So I'm suffering right now. Okay, that doesn't mean that you suffering makes my suffering less.
Right. Yes.
If you can do something, you know, like, yeah, okay, help. But I don't think it helps anybody to just sit there and complain or feel that negativity. I don't know how it is for you, but I get criticized whenever something, any political issue comes up and I don't speak about it. I get criticized.
Yep.
Sometimes I don't even know that something happened, and like, why aren't you speaking about this?
Yeah.
Because I have no idea, and I don't feel educated enough to like. It doesn't matter what. I don't know how you deal with that. If you ever got, you know, if people criticized you for that, but I remember during the pandemic, massively.
Oh my gosh.
Friends of mine got big shitstorms by people for not. You know, certain places had to shut down the entire place. You were not allowed to leave. And then in other places, you were like, do whatever the heck you want to do. And then people got criticized for traveling, for taking the vaccine, for not taking the vaccine. And instead of for not speaking up about this movement and not speaking about this movement, I don't know, how was it for you? How's your experience with that?
I mean, it's one of those like damned if you do, damned if you don't situations where like if you do speak up about anything, well, I'm just going to do a blanket statement. Like if you do speak up about something, there will be people who are rubbed the wrong way because you speak up about it. And then if you don't, then there are people who also get rubbed the wrong way because they maybe look up to you or they have expectations of you in their mind and in their lives to speak up about this thing that's so important about whatever it is for themselves. And I definitely, again, because I do feel very deeply for other people, I get those messages and I'm like, dang, am I doing something wrong because I'm not speaking up about every single issue, because I'm not making my entire platform about XYZ thing? Like, am I in the wrong? Am I not being caring in the world? Am I not living what I'm sharing? And then there's thank goodness for my friends, you know, my friends are very honest and blunt. And my husband also is very supportive. And I'm just thinking like, should I say something? Like, I don't know, I feel kind of bad. And I always get this resounding like, this is your life. You post what you want to post. You share what you want to share and what's important to you. Going to the pandemic, luckily or unluckily, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm involved in the healthcare field. So of course I was sharing about it because it's important to me and health is important to me. And I live very locally to my friends and family, and a lot of them are in their elder years. So I just want to be cautious too. So I shared about, you know, being cautious during the pandemic. And I was also feeling like, I don't know if I should travel. I don't know if I should like not wear a mask, whatever. But I would think to myself, like, if there were other people who felt differently, who wanted to live their lives differently, then that's how they want to do it. And so I have to turn that back around to myself for any issue that I'm not speaking on or any issue that I am, right? Like generally people who are upset with you for posting things or not posting things are always coming from a place of projection or an expectation where they think that you should be doing this thing or saying this thing because you have this platform. But you run your own life, you run your business. I mean, you wouldn't, what kind of example do I want to use? It's like any big company, like if Walmart or Target just didn't speak on a specific thing, I mean, there would be backlash, but then at the end of the day, it's like, that's their business. That's what they want to do. That's what they get to do. And I think the frustration internally comes from me not understanding what is right for me or like what is okay for me. And so the way I deal with it is giving myself the grace and compassion. If I didn't know about what was happening and I didn't post about it, like you said, like I didn't know. How was I supposed to know?
Yeah.
And then also, is this my place to speak about it? Or are there resources that I can just share for other people to learn? And is that something that I want to speak about? And also, you know, is this even my, is this even something that I am qualified to speak about? Is this something that I, like you said, in terms of education, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but and think that I'm saying the right thing. I don't want to hurt other people's feelings because I haven't done my research, but I'm being pushed to say something. So I know it's a very like, it's not black and white. It's a very gray area, but I think at the end of the day, you already know your best intentions. So going off of that and then being as kind and compassionate to other people as well, knowing like, okay, they feel this way because they're deeply upset and they're deeply hurt. And so I can give them love, and I also don't have to do what everybody's wanting me to do because I have my own life to live.
Yeah.
They want to share about something, they share about it on their platform. If I want to share about it, I'll share about it on my platform. And also, you know, social media it's a highlight reel. It's not a full, it doesn't cover everything that we care about. There are probably things that you don't share on your social media that you care deeply about, 100%. That you are involved with. You don't need to be sharing it with the entire world because maybe it's just a thing that you like to do, or maybe it's just something you take part in. And maybe you're just not educated enough to speak on it, and you let the people who are share it, and you give them the platform.
So funny. Like if I do anything that is, I donate money, right? And I share it.
Yes.
I get feedback, you know, like, why do you need to show that you donate money or that you support this charity? Like, there's this always going to be this group who's like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, I'm doing this because I want to inspire others to do the same thing. And it does. Like, it works. When I support a charity, others support that charity too. They even go there in person, and it really works. And that's my intention. But if I don't post about it, there's also a group who says, why don't you support charities? It's like either way, there's always going to be like someone who criticizes you for it. But I've noticed it's just a thing that particularly personal brands, influencers get criticized, demolished online if they don't speak up for certain things in the world. And what's the point? They probably have a reason why they don't speak about it. You also never know what's going on in their lives.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Like maybe the person you just attacked has a loved one they just lost or is going through a break. Like, what do you know? And what is the point? Because it's a thing. I had a couple of friends who have millions of followers, and oh my gosh, people criticize them, and they were like, you guys have no idea what's going on in their lives. Like, and what is the point? Do you not want to help? Like, what is the point in you doing that? So you want them to speak up about a certain thing. Okay, but what are you doing? All right, why don't you and I take a quick break, and why don't you and I subscribe to the show? This helps us, and
effectively you to get access to the best knowledge possible. It helps the show massively to get access to the most inspiring guests. The reason why we get access to guests like the one that you listened to today is because of you subscribing to the show. So please just subscribe. It takes about 2.5 seconds, gives you 7 years of good luck, and gives you also access to the best knowledge possible. Thank you so much. Now, let's continue with the show.
What are you doing? So we're right back at what is the most productive thing you can do in your current life?
Yeah.
Criticizing and like hate messaging, commenting, angry communication towards influencers or just people who have their own personal brands and who have a big following. Personally, I mean, anybody, if you guys want to disagree with me, you can disagree with me. I don't think it's productive.
No, I don't think it's helpful at all.
I've never felt like it was productive.
No, then you start, and then there are people who like argue with others. I have this rule in my life, like I don't argue in my DMs. I have one folder. You need to somewhat qualify, like my team goes through it, because I get I get loving messages.
Yes.
So many loving messages, beautiful messages. But there's always going to be 1%. Mm-hmm. And there's some very ugly messages too.
Yep.
And I don't want to see them every day. So I have this one folder that is just for me that's like safe. Mm-hmm. I know the messages that like my friends, you, the people that I follow, safe place. And then there are other places. And sometimes, I catch a message. And I had this one message once because we're building a school in Africa and Cameroon. And I did this community project. I donated as well. And there were a couple people criticizing why I choose Africa. Then there were people criticizing why I donate only so little if I make so much money. And there was this one person. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take a bit of time. I broke my own rule. I'm like, okay, how much did you donate? Because she asked me, like, I've committed to 5-figure amount. And she's like, well, based on your lifestyle, based on how much money you make, that's so little. I'm like, okay, tell me how much did you donate? She never got back to me.
I was going to say, she better say 6 figures.
No. And I mean, it's just not productive, like what's the point? That's war in between people. That is actually not helping. You can ask someone, you can ask a person, but hey, there is this specific topic. Would you want to share this? Would you want to speak up about it? Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts? Mm-hmm. And then if, but it's so much about communication. And earlier you said the work, right? You can really tell if someone has done the work, or if you just continue the war that you want your favorite influencers to speak about, you start a war in between people.
Yes.
You're just coming with the same energy, which I understand. It's the easy thing to do. But I don't think we've learned then our lesson. Mm-hmm. Like if we keep hating each other because you don't because I think you should be doing this and you're not doing that. And now I hate you because of that. Mm-hmm. It's like. Mm-hmm.
So actually, you know how I said you might not think, or it might not be directly impacting everything going on the other side of the world or other side of the country if you just decide to be a good friend or a good parent or a good daughter or son to your parents or whatever that might look like, whatever relationship dynamics you're in. But actually, now that we're talking about this, I feel like it does directly help that because it stops any war that might be directly in between you and the next person.
Yeah.
So that is preventing everything going on the other side of the world, country, town, wherever you are, from coming in and infiltrating your current sphere of influence in your day-to-day life. And it's just like, what do you want to do? Be more productive, be more peaceful, lean into what you can do versus what you can't do? Or do you want to bring more friction into your everyday and make things a little bit more difficult? And unfortunately, some people do choose to have more friction in their lives, and that is their journey. That's what they want to do. And it really does say a lot about somebody who's done the work, their own inner work. If they decide that's another person's journey, I don't want to engage with it like you. I don't want to look at those messages. I don't need that energy in my life. I'm just going to keep doing me. Like that says so much about how secure you could be in your own life and the way that you create peace for yourself too.
What do you think? What is the mental process in someone who is basically demonizing a certain religion or a certain country? I have friends. I mean, I grew up in Germany. I'm very privileged. I'm so great. It's my mom's birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Happy
mommy.
Heaven Day.
She passed away 28 years ago, but I still want to celebrate her for the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be here without her. And because of her and my father, I got this massive privilege to grow up in Germany and have a German passport. I also had the massive privilege to grow up with people from all around the world. And I would understand certain conflicts. There was this one conflict so there's this Albanian community, Kosovo. There's like a certain, it's like, I think it's politically incorrect to say it's a country, but it is its own country. I don't know if many countries actually like accept that, but whatever. It's Kosovo. It's part of Albania.
Okay.
Just for this conversation, and between Albania and Serbia, there was a massive conflict, war, and still until today they just hate each other. They hear this person is from Serbia. No, I'm not going to meet them.
Yes. Yeah.
And vice versa. And I'm like, I have friends that are Serbian and I have friends that are Albanian. I understand history. I get you guys, but you would actually like each other. And nobody here, you didn't choose where you're from. Like, you did not choose where you're from. If we would start just judging each other based on our history, like I'd be fucked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like everybody in New York would like kill me, and for good reason. Everybody would hate me. Like we Germans, we didn't do a good job in terms of making a name for ourselves. Like we did a horrible job. I mean, and I, by the way, like I understand it. Don't think it's the right thing, but I understand it if someone, like if I would go into like a Jewish community and they would have their reservations. Like I would like, I understand. I get it. That's not what happened. Like nobody ever said something. Actually, once.
Really? Oh my gosh.
She wasn't Jewish.
Okay.
I was in Thailand. That was my wild backpacking period. And I go to this party, and it was outdoor Koh Phangan, Thailand. Have you been?
I have not been.
Yeah, there's this full moon party thing, you know. So I went. I was drinking back then still. Back in the day. And there was this girl. I was single. And we would have an amazing conversation. Right? Very good looking and good vibe, good energies, fun conversation. And then she's like, where are you from? I'm like, Germany. Not joking, this really happened. She turns around, just leaves. She hears that I'm German and she just leaves. I'm like, thank you for showing me your
but
you have not done the work. Right? So I think the original question was, what is the mental process? What are the beliefs that a person would have who demonizes someone because of their religion, background? I'm just trying to understand psychologically what's going on.
Well, my best educated guess in understanding people is that it's like obviously multifactorial. So there is the culture that they grew up in. So maybe the woman that you were talking to at the full moon party grew up with parents or people that she looks up to who look down on Germany and Germans. By the way, I think that just from meeting as many Germans as I have, like coming from Germany, I have heard, and this is the impression that I get, that Germany has done a very wonderful job at making sure that everybody was educated on how not right that was.
Very true.
Right. And to see the signs and just like, they've done their work. They understand that was not right. We don't want to do that. We're not that. So with my background, I didn't come from people who are demonizing the Germans. I come from a background of understanding history and understanding like people change. So maybe she just hasn't. Maybe she came from a family or a community who it's their strong belief that anybody who comes from Germany or who has a heritage or parentage from Germany is also coming from like 1940s, 1950s, which is unfair, but maybe that's her point of view. It could also be fear. It could also be all of the things that she has heard from other people that she's looked up to that maybe weren't in her family. Maybe it's the culture that she's in. So I truly believe that it is just a lack of understanding and a lack of just like open-mindedness. And love is a very strong emotion in the spectrum of emotions. I think it's the strongest emotion that humans feel, but fear is also there too.
Yeah.
So love and fear are two very strong feelings and emotions that push and pull us humans in different directions. So if I see a homeless person outside and I am driven by fear, and I fear that being nice to them is gonna make them come closer to me and wanna like drive in my car with me, and if I fear that, then I will act negatively towards that person. If I'm looking through a lens of fear, if I'm looking through a lens of, either my own fear or conditioned fear, And then it's also just, personally, I feel it's just a lack of education. It's a lack of patience and understanding that all humans come from different backgrounds. We all have our own different stories. And if there are people from certain marginalized groups who truly are not good, like they're mean or they hurt others or whatever the case may be, it's also up to the person who's perceiving. So like me or you listening, watching, it's up to us to see like that is one person who's come from a specific background. Actually, I think about, I'm thinking about one of Thich Nhat Hanh, the Buddhist monk who's passed. I think you would love his teachings. He is from Vietnam and he writes just so many. He was like one of my gateway teachers. I like gateway spiritual drug teachers. No drugs, just love into the spiritual world. And so in one of his books, he mentions how he had to write a letter to a girl who was kidnapped and just raped, molested by some pirates in Vietnam. And as he was writing the letter, he felt himself getting so angry and so upset because he was like, how could you do this? Like, how could you do this to such an innocent person just needlessly? What's the point? Yeah. And then in his book that I was reading, he was writing that he had to take a step back, do his breathing exercises, walk the walk that he actually teaches. And he remembered that, let's just say the pirate that came and kidnapped her or the group of them, like what kind of life did they come from? Who were they influenced by? Who taught them what you need to do to survive? Like you talk about growing up pretty privileged, with your parents and having that passport. I feel the same way. I feel very lucky. I feel so blessed that I'm able to live in, I born and raised in Southern California in the United States. My parents were immigrants, came from the Philippines. I got the blue passport. Like I got to have an education. I just am so blessed to have so many beautiful things. But there are so many people who don't experience that.
No, oh my gosh, especially
Yes.
I can speak for my fellow Germans. There are so many people just complaining about the government, about what's messy in the country, and they don't feel blessed. They're like, I hate this.
Yeah. There are a lot of things about the United States that aren't the best.
About every single
about
country.
Everywhere, but I am lucky enough to live a life where I look at people with a lens of love. And I'm not trying to kidnap or rape people or kill anyone, because I didn't come from that kind of background. But imagine what it would be like if that was the background you came from. As a young child, you were taught, in order to be safe, in order to be fed, in order to belong, you have to kill people. You have to steal from them. You have to go kidnap and then bring them back here and do terrible things, you know?
And how do you change that belief system from someone who grows up? And by the way, I agree. I always say I don't believe they're bad people, toxic people. I think deep down we all have a heart. Like every single person who's alive has a heart. And if we hear the stories of what happened to them, just what you mentioned, if you ask that question, what happened to you? And you hear the stories and you're like, that makes so much sense. Of course, you do what you do. You see an alcoholic, right? You only see an alcoholic. You only see their behavior today, which is awful. You see them being abusive. But what you don't see is that they turn out like this because they lost the love of their lives 30 years ago. That's what you don't see. And so if we approach people with this question, what happened to you? Everything changes. Oprah wrote a book, one of my favorite psychologists, about it. What happened to you?
Oh, I need to
Brilliant
read
book.
that.
You have to read it. It's so good. And then you spoke about lenses. You know, I love that.
Yeah.
I always say we have different radio channels. It's the same thing.
Lenses.
We have like a lens of gratitude of what's good in the world. Then we have a lens of what's bad. Like everything that's bad gets filtered out. You only see those things. And I'm curious for everybody watching, listening. What is the lens that you're wearing most of the time? And what is the radio channel that you are on most of the time? What are like the most dominant emotions, the most dominant lenses that you wear? We have this phenomenon in Germany during the winter. Everybody's complaining about the weather. It's like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait for the summer. It is so cold. And then summer is there. It is 35 degrees, which is, I don't know how much, and you don't use the degrees, right?
No, but I know that's hot. I know
30
over 30 is pretty hot.
Over 30 is pretty hot.
Yeah.
Pretty hot. Summer's there. They've been waiting for this moment, and then they're like, oh my gosh, it is so hot. It's way too hot. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for winter.
Yes.
And this whole cycle. And you bring that person with that lens, with that, habit of thinking, you bring that person to Bali, right?
Oh no, they're fucked.
Oh my gosh, pollution. It is so hot. I'm sweating all the time. The mosquitoes and all of it.
My goodness.
Right? It's not about the place, it's the same person. The place changed, but the person didn't change.
Yes.
So if you are operating from that state, if you're wearing this lens of negativity, you're always going to find negativity in people, in places. If you wear the positive lens, the pink lens,
Yes.
Beautiful pink lens, you see everything a little bit more positive. You see opportunities. You don't see what was in the past. You maybe see also what could be.
Right. Yes.
I love that lens. My favorite lens to wear. Sometimes I put on this like frustration lens that happens to me still almost on a daily basis. I catch myself and I'm like, let me change the rate. For you, it's a lens. For me, it's a radio channel.
Yes.
It helps me a lot. It's like, okay, right now I'm just in this radio channel. This radio channel is on. I can switch it. There were a couple of very important things that I want to say. I needed to diss my fellow Germans. I needed to make this point because I don't think it's pleasurable to live like that.
Well, you're not alone, because there also are very many Americans who think the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in California, it's pretty much sunny all the time. Actually,
People complain about the sun here?
they don't only complain about the sun here. People complain about how hot it is. Then they'll complain about, oh, it's so overcast and gloomy. It's June. What's going on? May, June, July here is very gloomy, actually, especially in this area because we have the marine layer. I was like asking so many questions about it to myself a couple of years ago. I was like, why is it the summertime and it's so warm and then it's also so gloomy? It has to do with the marine layer and just the water evaporating, et cetera, et cetera. But people will complain about that too. And then also, you know, on the East Coast in New York, for example, you get all the seasons there. So winter, can't wait till it's summer. Summer, can't wait till it's winter. Fall, can't wait till it's spring. You know, bring it around the circle. But it's that lens. So to your original question, actually, that's more of a lens of like, I mean, I don't know specifically what it is for them, but I think it's overall dissatisfaction.
Yeah.
The lens that I try, again, I'm human, so it's not all the time. The lens that I try to look at things with or through is satisfaction and contentment and also optimism. I like to think that I'm an optimist, sometimes to my own demise, where I'm like, it's easy for me to skim over the things that are happening to me in the present. Like, okay, I'm actually feeling hurt, but maybe, maybe this is happening for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to look at it. But also, as humans, we have our own emotions that are actually physical. So we need to work them out. You know, crying, dancing, twerking. Twerking, you know, we have to move them out. But ultimately, having a positive mindset on things and an optimistic way of viewing things and trying to be satisfied with where I'm at has helped me move through those emotions and really validate them. Like, okay, I'm really pissed right now. I'm really sad right now. That's how I'm feeling. But I know that I'm actually okay. I'm healthy. I have all 4 limbs. I can call my mom or my dad on my phone. How lucky am I that I can do that? And maybe they won't answer, but they'll call me back eventually. Like,
Is that
that's
what you
amazing.
call the work?
That's what I call the work. There's so many other things that are involved with the work. But I've only been able to do this on a regular basis because I've been doing this for years. I've been about those gratitude lists. I found my first Ram Dass book when I was 16, and I was reading that really beautiful book, Be Here Now, with all of the pictures in it. I don't know if you've read it or like seen it. I found it at a Barnes and Noble, like a popular bookstore chain here in the States, and had no idea what it was about. I actually think I was just confirmed Roman Catholic in my community church where I grew up in. And I was at Barnes and Noble and I was like, what is this really pretty book? Like, I'm going to buy it and take it home. And I was reading it and it was just so many beautiful things that, of course, you know, you read one thing and you're like, where can I read more of it? And then I found Thich Nhat Hanh, and then I found all of the, like, Abraham Hicks at some point. And so I've been doing this work for a very long time. And that's why in the morning I can wake up and look over, and even though I'm tired, be like, wow, I'm alive, I'm healthy, I'm here with my husband, my dog's sleeping at the bed, like the foot of our bed. It's another day. This morning I woke up pretty tired. I was kind of tossing and turning and I couldn't fall back asleep. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to meditate, get my day started, finish some homework assignments, and then I'm just going to move on. I was tired, but that's okay. That's life. That's the work, but it takes time. So for anybody who's starting out right now, of course it's going to feel frustrating. It's going to feel like, am I being fake for wanting to be optimistic or wanting to see the things on the brighter side? And I think that that's subjective, but I personally don't think it's fake if you truly believe that it's like, I am lucky. I am grateful to be here. There are so many good things around, and there are not so good things around, and that's okay too. But I don't have to focus on everything. Yep. I can just choose one thing. It doesn't make everything else not real. Yeah. I just am focusing on this thing that is bringing me into a better state of being so that I can be here and present in a conversation with you and not stressed out about all the things that I get to do. I say now I get to do, but all the things that I have to do when I go home. So one of my favorite reframes is, it started out as a joke with my husband. You know, when it's like, oh, I still have to do my laundry, or I have to pay rent, or I have to pay my bills. I just started flipping it and saying, like, I get to pay my bills. I get to do my laundry. I might hate it, but, like, I guess I get to do it. And I might not always feel happy about it, but it's interesting how when you turn something into a silly joke, it actually like sticks. And so now in my head, I'm thinking, I get to do laundry. I get to have clean clothes. I get to have a washer and dryer. I don't have to bring it to a laundromat. You know, there's all those things that I can focus on. But it really does start with just trying. What are you grateful for? How can you focus your attention onto something more productive in your life? You know?
And if we catch ourselves wearing an unproductive lens, or the lens of frustration, or the lens of only seeing the negative, how can we switch efficiently? I give you a real life example, because you know I've been doing the work for quite some time. I'm 30 now. I mean, quite some time. There are probably other people laughing about this. Like 12 years or so. Like started personal development when I was 18. I think even younger, but that was when I started meditating, when I started my practice, therapy, and all of it. And so I've trained that muscle for a while, and by the way, for everybody. And that is one of the massive benefits we have in this world. Because I also have people following me from India, from Bangladesh, where you are less privileged in terms of, your opportunities in your passport. Maybe, I can also tell you, I said earlier I'm privileged, but I also, we had just enough to survive. My father was alone, with a lot of kids at home. We didn't have much, and I'm so grateful for that. I started working when I was 12. Like, I'm so grateful for that misery, because I developed my entrepreneurial drive.
Yes.
Because of that. And that led to so many amazing things. And maybe I wouldn't be doing the work that I'm doing right now if that would have not happened. So when I see people coming from less privileged situations, I'm like, well, you should be very grateful for that, because that can create hunger and a certain attitude and appreciation for life that other people who got everything just from their parents never had.
100%.
And then they struggle because they don't have that drive. So maybe, the worst thing you think there is in your life is actually one of your biggest blessings. For me, it was that case. Like, I'm so incredibly grateful. I grew up, we didn't have much. Didn't have money. We didn't have money for a hairdresser. My father would cut my hair.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, horrible. Because he only had one haircut on his menu.
Oh, really? Was it a bowl cut?
Yeah. How do you call it here?
A bowl cut?
Yeah, we call
like
it
that.
pot cut. Like, you
It's
take
a
a pot.
pot.
Yeah, pot, and then and then I remember this day I turned my life around. I took self-responsibility. I went to school, and back there my first girlfriend, her name is Linda.
Thank you, Linda.
Linda still follows me today.
Shout out to Linda.
Yeah. I think she ended up studying medicine. Anyways, doesn't matter. No harsh feelings, Linda. But she gave me that look, and she's like, kind of funny, but a little bit ashamed.
Right,
so I was like,
right.
And that was painful. That's so painful. I remember that moment, and classmates were bullying me and making fun of me. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I know I can't ask my father for money because we don't have the money. So I'm going to make the money.
Right.
How can I make 15 euros to get a haircut? And I'm like, And in Germany, you have that here in the US too, but in Germany, it gets rewarded even more. There are certain plastic bottles that you buy in the supermarket, we are all about recycling, okay? We take recycling very seriously.
Lovely. Love to hear it.
Not like here.
Yeah, I was going to
by
say,
the way.
thank you on our behalf.
We take it so seriously. So much so that you get 25 cents deposit if you bring the plastic bottle back. Like, you buy the bottle, you pay extra, like you do sometimes here with cans, you pay like 5 cents extra. Then you pay 25 cents deposit. You get it back if you return the bottle. Amazing. Right? So I'm like, And I knew we were like drinking out of those bottles at home. So if I just take the bottles, collect them, and bring them back, I keep the money, right? So I had my first couple of euros. Then I went to like the parks where people would just throw them out, especially when on the weekends when people were like meeting and were drinking beer on beer bottles. Unfortunately, you only get 15 cents. So on some of them, just because it's glass. Doesn't matter. So I made my first 15 euros. I went to that haircut and I got this like very fancy. It was Justin Bieber time. Justin Bieber haircut.
Love that.
But oh boy, did I feel proud. And like my nervous system understood, okay, if I want something, I can just make it work. Even if I don't know how, I can just go and do the first thing, and then the next opportunity comes, and then the next place. I'm like, wow, that thing helped me so much. And I'm like, every day I feel like, thank you, universe, father, whoever decided for us to be struggling with money, because I had to work and I became creative, right? So it also invited me to do the work. I completely, for the second time, forgot where we were in terms of the question. But
it happens.
It happens.
It's
it happens all the time. Now I remember. I had the situation at home recently.
Yes. Frustration.
Couple of days, frustration. Yeah, the lens. How do we switch the lens? That was the original question. And my friend and colleague walked into my apartment, or we were getting ready to leave. She took her shoes and was wearing them inside of the apartment. And we had that happening a couple of days already prior, where I'm like, clearly communicated, because I also know it's America, it's different rules in some, households.
They were household.
Not at your
shoes off.
Wonderful. But in some households, it's common to wear your shoes. Like, in fact, I even went to the sauna once in Gold's Gym. There's a big sign, don't wear your shoes and clothes. I'm like, who would wear shoes inside of a sauna?
Right.
I sit down, I was by myself, and then 3 guys join, and they were wearing the same clothes they just wore in the gym. I'm like, guys, what are you doing? Oh. Yeah, very disturbing for someone who's from Germany, where everybody's naked in the sauna.
Yeah.
But anyways, the point being, I told her once, hey, like, I would really appreciate it if we don't wear shoes, and I did it in a playful way, and it was okay. And then a couple of days later, she apparently forgot about it. So she was wearing shoes inside. And this lens of frustration was very present for me. And I was like, well, this really irritates me. I told you a couple of days ago to not wear shoes. Now you're wearing shoes inside again. Did you just forget, or do you not care? And she obviously she didn't have bad intention.
Well, yeah, 100%. She did not.
She just forgot.
Yeah.
She cares less about it. I would sit in the car, and it wasn't fine. I know, it sounds like a minor thing, but inside of me was war.
Right, yes.
That's how I felt. Like, oh fuck, I'm so pissed. And that's all I could see, like this. Why doesn't she care? There was this inner judge.
Yeah.
It's like, Axel, why doesn't she care? She doesn't respect you.
There we go. There it is.
And those voices. Like, I'm at this point where I don't act out on it most of the time.
Right.
Like, I know, like, right now there's this phase where this inner judge is just boiling, but I don't want to hurt her. And I also know from the past, like, maybe it's good to wait for a little bit before you say anything. And you are, in psychology, there's mature state, immature state. When you get back to a mature state, because then maybe you can see the whole situation from different perspectives. So I was sitting there in the car, and I was like, okay, I don't want this to ruin my Sunday. But right now, I felt like someone who was sitting on a chair, but like, your hands are, there's a rope.
You're strapped to it.
Strapped. Like, you can't get out of it. I'm like, okay, Axel, switch. And I was driving a car. Okay, so I couldn't jump or something.
Yeah.
We were on the way to the gym, which was good news. I know, give me 30 minutes in the gym. Afterwards, what was that problem again?
Perfect. Yeah.
But I don't know if you can relate. I'm sure
yes.
everybody watching, listening can relate when we are in this moment where we are so like hurt about a tiny freaking thing, but it's so hard to get out of it. At least that's for how I felt in that moment. In that moment, I'm like, I want to have a good Sunday. I don't want to argue about this. I don't want to feel bad. I want to get out of this funk. I want to get rid of this lens. How can we do that?
Well, this is actually reminding me of a story of myself that I would like to share, but there's levels to it. There are levels to it because there are sometimes you can reason yourself through and then everything becomes okay and you're like, oh, actually I was like tripping for nothing. Like it's actually fine. And there are other times where it's like, she didn't take her shoes off. I'm going to lose my mind. And you know, when you're like, it's just black, you know, it's just, I feel like when I'm at that point, like my pupils are just really like so constricted and small. And I'm like, I feel like I'm going full reptilian mode where I don't know where the consciousness is in my brain. But there's just enough to remind me that these are just feelings. You are not your feelings. Your feelings are a physical reaction that your body has. Like your brain is part of your body, right? So I'm just going to put those two things together. Your feelings are just physical reactions of something that your mind perceived as a threat or as danger, and your body is reacting, trying to protect you from it. And what I've always understood is that, well, not always, obviously, but after doing more of the work, after, you know, doing my own therapy, having coaches, coaching other women as well, I've fully understood that everything in our biology is just here to protect us.
Yes.
Even the fears that keep us small, the fears that stop us from being the person we want to be, it's just your brain's primitive way of trying to protect you.
Yeah, your brain is wired to avoid pain,
Absolutely.
to seek pleasure. Your brain is wired to protect you.
Yeah, so when I can look at it in that way and be like, okay, I know I'm feeling angry right now, but this anger is just an emotion, it's just a feeling, and it's very uncomfortable, but it's gonna pass. It's like period cramps. I know you don't experience it, but I mean, all the girlies out here. The pain is there and it sucks, but it's just gonna pass, and I will be here and I'm gonna be okay anyway. So when I say that there's levels to it, sometimes there's a point of being so high up on your emotional scale in terms of the unpleasant feelings that you can't actually reason yourself out of it. You can't just tell yourself, well, Axel, like, she's your friend and she means well. She's just in it. She's from a different culture. Maybe she wears shoes in her house and she thinks it's totally fine. And, you know, Axel, you've been really nice to her about it anyway, so maybe she doesn't think it's that serious. But, like, once you're at a certain point on that emotional scale, you can't talk yourself out of it. You just have to breathe through it, move through it. And then eventually you can bring yourself back to that mature state and then realize, okay, that happened. It's just indicative of something that needs to be spoken about. And then you can speak to her about it and have yourself heard and seen and validated. And then that's how you create safety for yourself. But you have to allow yourself to have those emotions. Your emotions are not bad. Your emotions are not you. I feel like I've been saying this a lot, but so many people go through life thinking when they feel angry, there's something wrong with them. Or when they feel sad, there's something wrong with them. Like, that's just your body reacting. You know, that's just your body telling you there is something going on, and then it's up to you to let it pass. Learn what you can from it. You know, extract whatever you need to extract from that situation to be more productive in the next few moments. And so then you can come back out of it. And it's not going to be...
How do we do that? Like, how do we not let it ruin our entire Sunday? Because everybody knows this. Like, whenever I do public speaking gigs or online classes, and I give this example of, like, you're on a trip. You're on the way to a beautiful beach with your partner, and then one tiny thing happens, one sentence. The entire mood changes. Your entire Sunday can be completely changed because of just one tiny, meaningless thing. And we've all had that. We've all experienced that. My question is, I don't know if we can ever, like, completely get rid of that, but how can we get out of the funk faster? How can we change the lens quicker. Because I don't know if you need to ignore someone for 3 weeks because
but sometimes
that could have happened. Honestly, 10 years ago, I could have done the silent treatment with that person for a couple of days because she was wearing her shoes inside. It's ridiculous.
No, but it's valid though. You know, it's
if I would go really deep, what was going on in that moment was I projected my father onto her, who was invading my boundaries, and that frustration came up. If I would just look at the situation, what has happened the first time, I didn't make it so clear. I made it in a funny tone.
Yeah.
I could have just said in 30 seconds, hey, listen, it is really important to me that we don't wear shoes inside of the house. Simple as that. Not just in front, because her whole theme was like, but I'm just 5 meters away from the door. I'm like, just in this apartment, no shoes. I can tell you about the reasons, but you're a reasonable person. You probably understand that, it's my home, my rules. In your home, you can wear your shoes and whatever you do, what you want to do. If you want to smoke inside of your house, do it. It's your house. Do whatever you want to do. But this is my house. Would that be okay for you? And I think the message, it would have been done.
Yeah.
But no. I had to just pretend. Let's just go. Pretending it's all okay, but it's not okay.
Yeah.
And luckily we were driving to the gym, and I think for me personally, and for the people that I'm working with, movement is one of the best ways to actually shift your state again, to change radio channels, to change the lens you're wearing. Everybody who goes to the gym knows of this phenomenon. Like, you have a problem, you have a conflict, you feel like the world's about to end, you go to the gym, and then 90 minutes later, you're like, what was that? What did I worry about? And that was the case with her again. So I'm like, listen, I talked about it. Hey, next time it'd be great if you just don't wear shoes inside. Not even anywhere close. Just take them off. Is that okay? Well, okay, done. Boom.
Done.
But I know, and sometimes it's still like, for some people, it's days, it's weeks of avoiding that one person at work, maybe even your romantic partner, like something comes up, right? So my question for you is, how do we navigate through that maybe a bit faster? I'm not talking about spiritual bypassing and just, like completely avoiding it, but how can we make it efficient?
If you're watching this means Christmas is approaching, and my book, maybe this is happening for you, not to you, is the perfect Christmas gift for everybody and their grandmothers. It is really a book that will change the way you look at life forever. You basically gift your loved ones the most important skill that you can develop as a human being, which is meaning making, which is turning adversity into a gift, taking control over your mind, and learning how to frame things. This book gives you access to years worth of progress for the price of going to the restaurant once. Please, please, please do yourself a favor, do your loved one a favor, order a copy, 2, 3. This book will save many lives, and you ordering this book will help us achieving that mission. So if you haven't already, make sure to order the book. Maybe this is happening for you, not to you. Out now, ladies and gentlemen. And now let's continue with the show.
So this might not apply to everyone, but this is something that I've learned for myself, and something that I've taught hundreds of women when I was coaching as well, through this exact thing. Like, I just ruined my entire day. Why did I do that? I just ruined my entire week. Why did I do that? I just made the whole month like unbearable. My process is sometimes you have to just do that. Like, I have to have the history of like messing up a month or a week or doing the silent treatment for days. And when you gave me the example of being on vacation and just one sentence comes out and it ruins everything, oh my gosh, you transported me to a moment. And my husband and I recently went to the Philippines, and there were moments like that where we would be talking and all of a sudden I would be just at the right space in my mind to take whatever he said wrong and personally. And I would shut down and I would basically ruin the entire ride or, just be very moody for the rest of the 48 hours that are coming up. And that sucks and it doesn't feel good. But I personally think that I need to have those moments to reflect on. So when it comes up again, I can say, do I feel like I need to suffer like that again? Do I, or can I just, emotionally regulate, do the jumping, do the screaming, do the steaming off, maybe work out or go on a walk or vent or whatever I need to do. Can I just do that first and then come back to the conversation and just let myself let go of it? I think that it's super easy to hold on to that anger or whatever that feeling is because it makes us feel safer. Again, coming back to safety. But it's really okay to just let go of it, not bypassing. And, when you're in those positions, you'll know the difference. Like, am I ignoring my feelings or am I just actively allowing myself to let go of that? There's one example where I was with my husband and he has, this is not to excuse his behavior, but he does have ADHD to a higher degree than I do. And so sometimes he's in his own world. And so I was showing him a song. We were listening to really upbeat music, things that he likes. And I was like, oh, wait, I just wanted to show you the song that I've been listening to. And it really reminds me of you. And it's just super cute and romantic, as I sometimes do, not all the time. He's like, okay, play it. And I played the next song. And then he jokingly was like, nah, I'll play the one before. And he was just joking around and didn't realize how important it was to me. And I just, for the next maybe 5-10 minutes, I was upset, very, very upset. And it was that projection. It was I'm bringing, I'm the youngest of four and it's a loud household. My siblings are all loud. So I was just brought all the way back to when I was in the van with my siblings and I wanted to play a song and they got control of the radio and, oh, I'm abandoned. I'm alone. I'm disregarded. Nobody, they don't care about my preferences or what I like. And I was projecting that onto my husband. Yeah. So for a while I was steaming about that. And then I realized okay, I'm upset. However, that's not what he meant to do. Yeah. And I think if I just communicated with him that was not okay, but also I wanted to show him something and I know that he probably didn't mean to hurt my feelings, we could just go back to the program that we were already on. We could go back to the radio station or we could put those glasses back on. And that's exactly what happened because I've already been through situations with him where I would ignore him for the entire day. And then neither of us felt good at the end of the day. And then we would apologize to each other and then it would be okay. Or I would apologize to him because I'm usually the one who does that because I just take things the personal way. But same. I had to have that history and have the ability, which is a practice, to self-reflect and ask myself, am I going to be upset about this right now? No. Do I want to be? No. Do I want to put it on him? No. How can I just let go of it? I talk about it, whatever, we move on. But also there are times when I choose to be petty. And I think that is also okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's no point in beating yourself up for it.
Right.
I think it's often an echo from the past.
Always. For me.
When we get... and it's so funny that we get triggered the most by the people we love the most and we spend the most time with. We show that immature self the most with the people that we love the most. So it's very natural if you're in a relationship that person sees that side of you the most, which is kind of whoever is in charge up there has a good sense of humor, when it comes to strangers, you're going to be more mature.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You're going to be, mature. But then the people who you love the most, who love you the most, it's safe to show your immature side. They see all of it.
Yeah, not just
that. You take them so you take it so personally, whatever they say. And so, often it's just a flashback. You just described the situation with your siblings in the car, flashback.
Total flashback. For
me, the shoe situation, flashback. I was not seen. That was my flashback. I was not seen as a child. My mom, as I said earlier, she died. And there is obviously a big gap for me. So I'm going to be more sensitive in certain moments. But that has nothing to do with the other person wanting to actually harm me. And you call it a practice. And for me, I did the silent treatment thing when I was 18, 19, 20, sometimes for days with people. Then days became hours.
Exactly.
And now it's sometimes still hours, sometimes it's just minutes. I like that I allow myself some like time and space to like shift from immature state back to mature state before I say something. Because when we are in the midst of that challenge, when we wear the lens, it's very hard to then say like, let me actually have a bit of empathy. Yeah. Or what is it for you? Or what could that be teaching me? You know, like in that moment, you're like, just like, you dumb idiot.
Yeah. And it also feels inauthentic.
Yeah.
It feels inauthentic to be in the state of pure anger and then thinking, how could they have grown up that would make them react that way? And how is it triggering parts of myself that like my child self too? Like it just feels inauthentic to be at such a heightened state of emotion and in the immaturity to then be like, well, let's reason through it. Like you have to give yourself that space. You have to allow yourself to go through those emotions and also not be like, there's again, layers, right? Because you feel that initial anger or frustration or disappointment, whatever it is. But then there's on top of that, like feeling ashamed or feeling upset that you're feeling upset.
Yeah.
But it's just a human thing. It's just an emotional reaction, and we all come wired a little bit differently, but it's just a natural way of living, especially in community, in family, and in society. It's a natural way of processing through things. Yeah. So then we just let go of that and then allow our bodies to just cycle through that. Okay, angry, and then time has passed by, and then I feel okay, and then now I can think about it, and now I'm actually wondering, what is it about that makes me feel XYZ? Yeah. You know, what is it reminding me of? Or what kind of insecurities are they bringing up within me? Or what kind of pain points are coming up for me that actually have nothing to do with this situation or their intention? And how can I make amends if I did blow up on them, or whatever the case might be? But it's gradual. You can't just go from 10 all the way down to 0. Like that's not how it works. You have to, I mean, some people jump right off a ladder, but safely you'd want to take go one rung down, and then one rung down, and then one rung down. But it's easier when you're not putting the blame on yourself for feeling however you feel.
I think it's incredibly important to talk about how to, I'm going to call it fight for a second, because often it is a fight in that moment. How to fight, how to argue when you're not fighting, when you're not arguing. Like the worst time to talk about it is when you have a fight with someone. Like then you cannot talk about it. Yeah. So I think if we have conversations with the people we love the most while we are in a mature state, about like, hey, when I'm acting out, not if I'm acting out, we are all acting out. We are all going to an immature state once in a while. Some of us go there more often. Some of us spend there a bit more time than others. Through practice, that can get better, by the way. It got better for me massively. It's far away from perfect, but so much better already. So we can improve that, but talking about what helps us in those moments, what are maybe also some like common rules? Know that we know what happened last time. Like how can we make it safe? How can we make it better? How can we learn from it from next time? And I often have that rule, like I know in those moments when we are in this immature state, there's no point in continuing the conversation.
Yes,
until
I agree.
We came back to center, back to the mature state. And I know my world is going to be, like if I'm going to continue this conversation, it's going to be awful for you and for me.
Yeah.
So I would love to respectfully take a bit of time for myself, go on a walk. For me, it's going on a walk, going on a run, going to the gym. if I do that, I come back, I'm a different person. And I can look at it from both sides, right? So I think everybody listening, watching should have those conversations after this episode is over. Like, hey, when we are in this, whatever you want to call it, immature states, my therapist calls it love flow interruption.
Ooh,
Yeah, when the love
like
flow
that.
is interrupted, what do you want? What do you need? Like, how can we find common ground? I think it's one of the most important questions. And just naturally, this conversation today was all about, or is all about, the work. And if I see you from the outside, I mean, I just met your husband. You're married, right?
Yeah.
Luke. Nimai Delgado, a common friend. We had dinner yesterday, and he spoke about you and your husband, and
He did?
yeah. He said, for him, you're the most loving and entertaining couple to watch, to just be around, because you're apparently so different in the way you think and the energies, but it's like a magnet. I think that was somewhat similar to what he said yesterday. And so I'm thinking about two things. I'm thinking about the question that comes up for many people, or is present for many people: how do we find the right person who also does the work? So many questions come up. How do we navigate through relationships when you are, for example, into the work? When you do therapy, I have a lot of female clients who have also female friends who do therapy, who go to retreats, who work on themselves, but then their boyfriends, their partners, they're like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to work on myself. How do you navigate through that? And then I definitely want to talk about the relationship we have. I don't know why it's coming up, but it's coming up. The relationship we have to our ex-partners. Because one thing that I always find fascinating, and that tells me something about the work you've been doing, is how do you talk about your ex-partners? If I see someone, and I'm going to be completely honest, if I see someone who talks incredibly bad about the person they've dated for years, that raises a lot of flags for me. That is often a sign for me that person is immature in that moment, and that there is something to clean up.
Definitely, yeah.
Two big topics. I'm a Gemini, right? So
Love a good air sign. I'm an Aquarius. Rising in sun.
Two very different directions.
I got
Which
you.
Which one do you want to take first?
I could take
the breakup
both.
bucket, the breakup lens, or do you want the how do we attract love, the right partner? How do we deal also with this phenomenon? One person is doing the work, the other person not.
Well, I'll just combine them. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
Catch me outside. How about that?
Catch me here inside the studio, outside. So if I were really smart, which I am, but this is very genuine, I would take your answer and be like, okay, I should speak positively about all my exes. But to be very honest, I think that there is a time after a breakup where all you want to do is talk shit about your ex. And I think that that's okay. I think you're still healing. And after a while, it gets kind of, maybe you should go to therapy if you're still going to talk about them like that. I don't know. For me, I did not have the best relationships prior to my husband. Some of them were great and they just weren't a good fit. And then other ones were just definitely like not healthy, not good. And I just, so glad that I'm gone. But at this point in my life, I would not be the person that I am. I would not have the husband that I have if it weren't for all of those people that I hurt, who hurt me. I would not know what I want. I would not know what my worth is as clearly and as well if I didn't go through those moments where I was being ignored, crying because my boyfriend wouldn't pick up the phone because we had a fight, and he just like would say such mean things to me. Or if I didn't go through the feeling of being like super alone because he doesn't understand me, or whatever the case might be. I truly believe that every relationship we have, romantically specifically, it's kind of like an opportunity for us to learn about ourselves, for
1 million
sure.
%.
And also, looking at all of the things I love about my husband, I know that I have been able to pick and choose that through my exes. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it's like, okay, from this person, like I know that I really enjoyed our humor. And the other person, I know we really enjoyed this music taste. And from that other person, I know I had a boyfriend who was very passionate about the vegan, whole food, plant-based, Dr. Greger, Dr. McDougall, like all of that scene. I'm like, okay, I know that I want to be with somebody who has, I really enjoyed that. So that's what I'm looking for in the next one. So it's like every single past partner that I've had has actually beautifully led me to my set of preferences and standards for myself that I now have with my husband. And so I respect that. And I really thank those versions of myself who engaged with those exes. And then also I really thank those exes for being who they needed to be at that time for me, so that I could grow and I could learn. And I really do, even for the ones that hurt the most, I really do just wish them all the best. I really wish them all the success and love in the world if they're able to find it, because like I'm in such a good place right now in my relationship. Why would I not want that for other people, And then finding the love of my life was actually finding me, and was being very clear about what I would and would not have in a relationship. I needed to be with somebody who cared about their health. I needed to be with somebody who wanted to do the work. I know that there are a lot of other people out there who they're doing the work and their partner isn't, or they've been doing the work and the person they're dating and they fell in love with isn't going to therapy. They don't want to do self-reflection. And I know that's each person's journey, but for my personal self, that it just wouldn't fly, because I know what my standards are. I want to be with somebody who's self-reflective. I want to be with somebody who can teach me things just as much as I can teach them things. And I think what I also want to bring in here is this sense of abundance. And that is that if I feel like I meet somebody and they're like 95% of the way there of everything that I could have wanted, but there's that 5% that I can't, it just wouldn't really, like, I couldn't tolerate it after 15 years. I need to be in an abundance mindset and think to myself, well, I got 95% of the way. There's that 5% that I just personally can't have and that I wouldn't be happy with. And this isn't to say anything bad about that other person, but it's just to say, like, these are my preferences.
Yeah.
If I'm going to spend the rest of my life with somebody, I have worked on my self-worth and my understanding of my self-worth to know that I deserve to be with somebody who I'm proud to be with, who I'm happy to be with. And all the extra little flaws are actually things that I come to love, or I come to understand, and I come to adore, not come to resent. So if there are things that I know I'm going to come to resent, maybe it's best if we part ways so that they can find the person that will love that 5% that I just feel like I can't. And I also have to know that there is an abundance of people in this world, and there will be someone there for me who will fit every single like nook and cranny of what I need within a relationship. And holding that faith and holding that self-worth for myself and knowing what I deserve meant that I would say no to things that I would previously say yes to, because I'd maybe fold, or I'd be like, oh, okay, like I can just deal with it. But no, eventually after enough of those relationships that hurt me, where I hurt the other person, I was like, I'm going to be with somebody who it just is easy and it's just a yes on all things. And when it's not a yes, it's just a love flow interruption.
A love flow interruption.
Where all I have to do is say, hey, there's this problem that I'm experiencing, and I would like to, together with you on it as a team, work on it, because I love you and I want this to work. Or because I know that you didn't mean to hurt me, but how do we go about this so that everyone's happy, and can we do it together instead of it's you and me against each other, and then there's also the problem. So I think in short, it's like understanding what I'm worth and really, really believing that, which takes work. It takes doing the uncovering with the therapist or with a coach, and the journaling and the reading the self-help books and doing your solo travels and really just learning yourself, your purpose, who you are in this world. And then also knowing really, really deep down with that optimist lens that there is somebody out there who's looking for you just as much as you are looking for them. And I mean, with that, I was able to get into a relationship with my husband. Because I mean, you know, from our story when we had lunch earlier, we already knew each other, and we just started to get to know each other deeply and deeply from a friendship level to more of a relationship level. And then everything just continued to work. And
So interesting, because you just, you already knew each other. You just changed lenses.
yes.
He literally described it earlier, how he was just, he put you into, he was wearing a certain lens whenever he saw you, and then he changed his lens. And like, oh, wow. So much, like, maybe your dream person is already in your circle of friends. You just don't know it yet.
You just don't know it. And I will tell you, he now is so different from who he used to be. And I would not have considered him, and I told you I friend zoned him for a long time. That's because I saw him how he was, and I was like, oh, that's just like a good friend of mine, but I would never date someone like that. So I held my standards high. I never talked down on him for being who he was. I was just like, the kind of person that I want to be with is, you know, acts like X, Y, and Z, and does, you know, treats me right, and is not so serious about their life, but, you know, has goals and motivation, and has a good schedule and takes care of themselves. And honestly, that like really wasn't him. I didn't ask him to change. I just focused on what I wanted. And he eventually saw me as someone that he wanted to be his person. And so he started shifting in ways that he knew was good for him too. And so it's like we just kind of co-created this relationship together unknowingly by remembering what we are worthy of having in love and in relationship. But it is hard. It's not an easy thing. And so anybody who's listening, you're having a hard time with this, please give yourself grace. It's a journey. It's a lot more about understanding and loving yourself than it is about finding the person who ticks off all the right boxes. When you want to...
You're probably going to always find something about the person, you know, you commit to that you don't like.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
You will have some expectations for them that I can't meet. There is something you won't like, and then you just have to commit to the work, I guess. I mean, what do I know? I'm not married.
Well, I'll tell you, as somebody who's married, not for a long time though. It's only been a couple of years.
I mean, I love. We spoke earlier about this, that we love to learn from people who just have so much more life experience. This is just me sharing what. I have this one particular couple. They've been together for like 50 years.
Oh my gosh!
He's one of my favorite teachers, and I just repeat their teachings because it's very, very, very helpful. I wanna comment on the whole part about our ex-partners. I'm saying that because I see so many people suffering because of breakups, and that can continue for years and years and years and years, and they call their ex-partners toxic and bad people. And I just find it very interesting how if you loved someone, or if you not even loved someone, if you love someone, because if you love someone, like truly, you develop love for someone, I'm not sure where it goes. Like if it can ever leave you. You might change your relationship status. You might transition from being lovers to being people who choose to hate each other, or to a friendship. But I think it is important to clear the air internally, to not walk around with resentment, and to also always see your part. One of my first clients, she was in, I think it was 4 relationships, and they were all toxic.
At once?
No.
Oh, okay.
She had 4 at once.
I'm like, that's kind of intense. No wonder she was working with you.
No. So the same pattern in 4 relationships. Always man cheated on her. So I was just curious to see. I obviously didn't say it that direct, but I'm like, okay. So if that keeps happening to you over and over again, I don't know how I got there back then. Back then I was, now I would be very direct and ask, like, what do you think your part is in all of this?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, depending on who's in front of you and your level of trust, right? Yeah. You need to, be somewhat careful. So I was very careful. Now I would just ask, okay, well, apparently you're repeating a pattern. You're not learning your lesson. What is the lesson? And so I'm asking everybody who has this negative relationship resentment towards a person you dated, you said, I love you too. You maybe lived even in one apartment. How do you hate each other right now?
Right.
It's almost like the conversation we had at the beginning of the podcast. Like, you guys loved each other. Like, okay, you can't be, or you don't want to be together. Okay, but why do you have to hate each other? And from what I understand, it doesn't help your whole system if you have hate towards someone. And my love for people that I was in a relationship with continues forever. I'm always going to be kind to them. I wish them the best. I want them to be happy wherever they are, right? And I want people to, even if you have different ideas, even if you had a difficult past, to like, hey, if this would be, I know what it's like to almost die. And I can tell you, you don't want to have this resentment or unclear energy between you and anybody who's important to you. So I hope this conversation inspires someone to maybe also see their own part and maybe shift their energy towards that person. Like, if you have an ex-partner that you demonize and you hate, I think there is something for you to learn, still to learn. Because you're the person who also chose this person. And I think that is just this crucially important, and hopefully you can sit down with that person and actually have a nice conversation.
Yeah. And also, if not, just working through it on one side, like you have an ex you demonize and you hate, and maybe you decide to go work on it, you journal on it, you learn whatever it is about inner work that you need to learn in order to kind of like let that go. If you never speak to that person again, maybe they died. Maybe they never want to speak to you again. Maybe they have like that resentment towards you. If you're able to just clear it up within you, that will create so much more space and peace in your body.
Yeah.
And it really does. Like, when you're saying it, when I'm saying it, it says so much about a person when they can say, like, I really hope that my ex-partners, even like ex-best friends, ex-bosses, colleagues, whatever, that I had trouble with, I'm done with that. Like, I hope that you have the best life. Truly, sincerely, no sarcasm. I hope you have lots of success and you find lots of love, and whatever happened between us, I hope it's water under the bridge, just like it is for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm no longer holding on to that, and it helps me become the person that I am today. And what's not to appreciate about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do have compassion for those who feel it's difficult, or who are in the stage where it's like, that's impossible. I hate them. I hate them.
1,000,000%.
Yes.
I mean, but there's so much power in that exercise you just described. And I think it's also a big part of the work, our healing journey. Like, I had to do this exercise with my caregivers. I had to do this exercise. It's my mom's birthday. I had to do this with my mom. Like, there was a time where I subconsciously felt so much anger and frustration about, hey, where the fuck did you go?
Right. Yeah, it's reasonable.
Like, a baby just is like, well, you have a loving mommy, and then she's gone.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And that was stored inside of me. And there was a lot of like frustration and anger that came up towards women sometimes if they would just leave. Naturally, but that was nothing but the echo from the past. And so I had to have a conversation with my mother, and we can still have those conversations. And I had to say, well, I need to reframe how I look at the whole situation and how I look at the relationship to my mom, the relationship with my father, and say, acknowledge those feelings. And have you ever done dynamic meditation?
Which meditation?
It's a dynamic meditation.
How does it go?
There are like different phases of meditation, and there's one where you scream, where you shout.
Oh, yes. I have done that.
Yeah. It's from Osho.
Yes. From Osho.
And
it's kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of wild, but I recommend it. It's a great exercise if guided properly. If guided properly. Anyways, I had to do that with my father. Like I really first had to get this through this feeling. Like I had to really feel it, to really sit with it.
Yes.
In case of my father, with like a lot of like anger, frustration. With my mom, like just sadness, grief, like ouch. And then at some point, having that conversation of like, you know what, you needed to play the role that you played.
That, yes.
It had to happen this way so that I could do. If I think about my mom, I would have never been so close to my siblings. We were like this. Me and my sister, we almost have like mom, especially when I was shorter, when I was tiny. Like I had somewhat of a mom relationship to her. To my grandma, I grew up with her. Like I spent so much time with my grandma because of that. And who am I to judge and say this should have not happened? Maybe she's somewhere else having a much better time in someone else's body, like who knows, in a different dimension. What do I know? But what's important, I think, for our healing journeys is to acknowledge the pain, feel the pain, but then to reframe the story. And I don't know a single person that is actually like that you actually really, really, really hate. I think it's time to like let go of it. Whether it's an ex-partner, you also said like an ex-boss, someone, but actually like, thank you for the opportunity for me to grow, to learn. And often it's just enough to write a letter.
Totally, yes.
Amanda, do you know we just had a conversation for 1 hour and 40 minutes?
I'm aware, but at the same time, I always know that these conversations, especially with the topics that we've been talking about, oh my gosh, I could keep going. It's like you opened up little boxes and I'm like, wait, I still want to explore this.
Yeah, but I have to send you out of here.
I know.
I have to send you out of here. Oh my gosh, I could sit down with you for 3 hours because this is one of the most important topics. I think the most important topic.
Absolutely.
Before we started recording, I said the quality of our lives is the quality of our relationships, and it's so incredibly important to do the work. You do the work. You share online about the work. I think that's what you do at the end of the day. How can we support you? I will obviously link all of your profiles down below, 1,000,000%. How can we support you? How can people work with you? Maybe 30 seconds before you head to your class.
Before I have to hop out.
Yeah.
So the number one thing, the best way that you can support me is to, this is so corny, prioritize yourself. And if you don't feel like you give yourself enough compassion, like let this conversation be a reminder. That's how you can support me, truly. Indirectly, but also directly. And the next way is you can also join me on my journey of life. I'm at Amanda Sevilla on most platforms. I also have my own podcast, the Flourish with Purpose podcast, which I will definitely get you on as well, because 100%. We definitely need to talk about that. And I think that's where we're at. I, at this moment, don't offer any coaching. Maybe if you're listening to this way in the future, I will be able to support you through holistic wellness. I'm getting a master's in Ayurveda and integrative medicine right now. I am a registered dietitian, so I do plan on starting up a program in nutrition, Ayurveda, digestion, wellness, because, a lot of our health problems start with our digestion and our gut. And
100%.
I'm very, very passionate about that, as well as doing the work. So that's where we can connect. And
and whenever that is happening, let me know. I'm going to have you on the show again. You're such a sweetheart. I don't think it was corny. I think it was pure. And I'm really, really grateful we got to sit down together. That was epic. Thank you so much. And now you have to get out of here because you're running, otherwise late. Your husband is waiting downstairs with your dog.
And
Amanda, thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, just tag us. Wherever you're listening, whether it's washing the dishes on the way to work, tag Amanda, tag me. Send this episode to someone you think should do the work.
If you're rage driving to someone wore shoes in your house, this is for you.
Send it over to your boyfriend. There's this really interesting conversation. You should listen to it. Do the work. All right, Amanda, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Axel.